Hi guys, thanks for joining us once again here at Skydiving TV's international live studio, where we have some of the most influential guests to talk about the sport, the current situation. And today our special guest is Attila, who is the CEO of Icarus Canopies by NZ Aerosports. Hi Attila, how are you, sir?
Hey, how you doing? Thank you. Hi, everybody.
Hi, well, pleasure to have you in the studio through that huge distance. And how are you guys doing in New Zealand with all that COVID-19 situation?
I'll be doing good now. The New Zealand government did a great job, I feel. They really shut down the country early and reacted fast. So last 2 days, we had 0 new cases reported here in New Zealand, which I think is a huge achievement that we can be proud of. Companies is open now. We had to close the factory for a little bit more than a month, a little bit over 4 weeks. But last week we reopened the factory and we can operate again. We are making canopies, we are shipping products, and still just on a limited level. We only have 10 people in the factory at any time, and only production and production support. Everybody working in the office and administration, still working from home, meeting online, just like we do it now.
That's great. Well, NZ Aerosports and you, Attila, don't need any introduction to our audience. Everybody knows who you guys are, making the greatest canopies on the planet. And I am one of the customers and I love the product. But we want to say thank you very much for all the sponsorships and all the support that the NZ Aerosports and you personally have provided to Skydiving TV for our broadcasts and productions over the years. So thank you very much.
And thank you. We love we love what you guys think.
In the 10 years that we've been around, and this is our 10th year celebration, we wanted to ask you a question. When you first heard about Skydiving TV, what was your first impression? What did you first think about it?
I don't know which competition was the first one that I saw, but yeah, I was really surprised of the quality of the broadcasting. It was just was not what I was used to. I've seen some competition when they were broadcasting the jumps and the camera. They put the camera out, and then they were filming landings, for example, and you could watch it online all day long. It was nice. But the first time I've seen your production, it was okay, this is TV quality. This is a real sport event broadcasting. Yeah, I loved it.
Well, thank you.
But yeah, as I said, I was really surprised on the quality. It was way better than what I expected in the industry at the time.
Yeah, well, that's great to hear. And do you think that the sport at the time was ready to have its own media? Do you think that the competitors, the industry, the drop zones, the associations were ready to have their own media when we first launched?
Yeah, I think so. I've always been competing. So when I actually start competitions, I always felt that disconnect, and I always really wanted to be there at the competition, and feeling I'm missing out, checking the scores a couple of times in a day, and if they were not updating live, I was upset, looking at people that I know at the competition, if they are posting fresh scores. So when you guys started actually broadcasting live, there was really filling that gap, and it was easier.
Did it change the game for you as a competitor when you did make it a little bit more? Oh my God, I better be on my toes here and better be performing.
No, not really. Not really for the competition. It was actually more at the time when I was not at the competition. There was somewhere to go to keep up with the action. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, and what about as a competitor? Because first, I believe we saw you in Nagambie, and you were competing that year at the Australian Nationals. Did it make you think a little bit differently as a competitor when you're in front of it?
Yeah, like not on that competition. Like, I was just a competitor. We were not a sponsor at the time. But yeah, I was a little bit new to the game of, like, going to the plane for a jump and someone sticking a microphone in front of me and the camera in my face and asking questions about the next jump and the previous jump. And so that was a little bit unusual, but yeah, I guess, like, everybody, like, comes around and, like, we get used to it, and it's fun.
It keeps you a little bit on your toes.
Yeah, always keeping, like, when is he coming? Like, be ready.
Absolutely. Well, I want to see. We have a hello from Oscar. Hi, Oscar. How are you? Thanks for watching, buddy.
Hey.
Appreciate it. Well, shortly after that, NZ Aerosports decided to join Skydive TV as a program sponsor. And like I said earlier, thank you very much for supporting our programs.
Thank you. I think it was in 2015 PI even when we the first time, I believe. So, yeah.
Was it 15?
I believe so.
Was it 15? Maybe. I can't remember the exact time. But how do you think that Skydive TV helped the brand? How do you to promote your product, and how far do you think the relationship could go?
How did it help? I mean, like, you have a good number of people following you, and then when there is an event, then you really PI is a good example. There's lots of new stuff. Everybody who's a player in the industry are there, and that's where everybody's showcasing the new product. So I think you going around and talking to key people with each company is a good way to tell our story or tell what we are up to. I like your style. I like you asking questions, making people comfortable, and I think, like, covering, helping us, not just me, I guess, to tell what I actually have to say.
Yeah, well, that's great. And if there is anything that you as a viewer can suggest to Skydive TV to do better, to change, to adjust, what would it be?
I don't know. I haven't thought about that. Like, I'm when I'm watching it, like, I just get lost in like in the content, and I wasn't really thinking about that. But I'll get back to you on that.
That sounds good.
I like what you guys do.
Well, I appreciate it. So you guys are getting ready to reopen the factory in Auckland, and can you tell us a little bit about what's new with NZ Aerosports? And you guys have something new coming up. Do you have anything that you would like to tell the audience?
So we actually already reopened the factory. So the factory, we started working again last week, and we had some orders that we had to stop working on at the end of March when the lockdown started. But yeah, we are back in we are back in the game. We are making and shipping canopies and taking. We never stopped actually taking orders, but orders are starting to come in again. What's the plan? Well, that's a good question. We had lots of plans before this whole epidemic, like, hit us.
Yes.
Obviously, we have to adjust, and our main focus is short-term goals. We are monitoring the situation. We are monitoring the orders, and listening the news. Government announcements, and based on all the information that's available for us and making our own assumptions, we have some short-term goals, and we keep adjusting until the market and everybody recovers, and we are back to our life as close as possible to what it was before. Very
cool. Anything new coming out of any new products? Anything new, exciting?
So, that innovation and innovating Canopies has always been a big part of what we do. It's in the company's DNA, and we had few projects going before. Still in February, like that was our summer, mainly working on ENA and P2, which is like an upgraded version of Petra, and also looking at some of the canopies that we haven't upgraded yet. The Tandem and Student is still, as it's always been. So that was on the table to look at one stage. But test jumping is on hold right now, and with the limited production that's available for us in the factory, we are a little bit slower on making prototypes. We're not really making prototypes because we can't jump it.
Yes.
So right now, our R&D is mainly simulations in the computer and it's in Julian's head. So it's mainly preparation for other products, and we get into it when we can actually start jumping them.
Very cool. Very cool. Well,
so there is no release planned for the next couple of months, but everything is delayed right now.
That's all right. We'll wait. We'll wait patiently. When everything comes back to normal, I can't wait to see what comes out. It'll be very.
Yeah, thanks.
Absolutely. Well, Attila, we want to say to you once again, thank you very much for your time and everything and the efforts, and for the support that NZ Aerosports and Icarus Canopies has done for Skydive TV. We really are looking to continue the relationship on many different levels. And one thing that it really matters to me is the sport of skydiving, the promotion of the sport. And in order for us to continue, Skydive TV always is looking for avenues to cover. But one of the biggest challenges that we have is working with the World Federation of Aerosports, as we all know, which is the FAI. Do you think that the sport of skydiving is ready to have its own independent federation? What do you think?
The Federation of Federations?
Yeah. World Federation of Skydiving. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds good. Actually, that's something that Joro wanted to do. I think he just wanted to do it here in New Zealand at first, but he might. I'll dig it up. He had something about the Federation of Federations for skydiving.
Skydiving only and nothing else. So, do you think that would be accepted well in the community? Do you think that our sport needs to have its own federation and its own path to excellence and growth, instead of being part of a federation that is keeping other sports together, and we are pretty much the black sheep of the rest of the aviation sports?
Yeah, every country is different, and the federations are actually working with the government. So one federation couldn't actually accommodate for all the countries and all the legislations and all the yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, growing the sports together, it's a nice idea.
Yeah, and we
So that's the Skydive TV's plans for the next 10 years.
Well,
creating the federation.
We'll let you know in just a few more live broadcasts, but one of the things that we are working on is creating a World Federation of Skydiving with some fellow visionaries in our sport, and we really would like to take the sport to a different level and manage it differently, and basically take it in our own hands, versus being part of another federation that doesn't really promote the sport as we all expect it to be promoted. But yes, it is.
All right.
So this is the direction. and we wanted to hear as much opinion and as many people as we possibly could about it, and to properly formulate it. Would NZ be able to support a project like that?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yes, we're very excited for it. If you have any questions for me, I would like to answer them. If you'd like to know about where we are going.
No, that was my question. Like, first of all, is it's always nice to see you guys in the drop zone. Like, nice hanging out with you guys, and you bring the kids as well. So that's always good. Like, hopefully we can do that soon again. And I was actually just wondering, like, you have another business, your drop zone in Las Vegas, and we kind of like talked about it before, but like, how is Vegas looks like in times like this, and also what is going to happen with your drop zone in the near future.
It's tough managing multiple businesses, being a producer for Skydiving and a DZO, and then we have a production company that we're all tourist dependent. But Vegas is a very unique town. It is a very, very tough town. It is able to withstand a lot of bad times. This is difficult now, but once it goes over on the other side, we'll be better off once it's over. So we are very positive, and we are spending a lot of time on being creative and utilizing a downtime that we don't have to go anyplace else, but just stay around and use it as creatively as we possibly can. Skydive TV specifically started as one thing 10 years ago, and over the last 10 years, it actually shifted and adjusted multiple times to fit a particular model, and now we are going through the same thing again. It is changing again. The times are changing.
That's right.
The technologies are changing, and if we are to continue to be at the forefront of covering events and being who we are, we just have to adjust along with that.
Yeah, that's right. You have to constantly reinvent yourself.
Every day it seems nowadays. We take one step back and something new comes up, and it's a never learning curve. But that's the beauty of it.
Nice one. All right. So here's for the next 10 years, huh?
Well, thank you very much. Here's to the next 10 years. And for you guys, thank you for your support. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you here in our studio. Really appreciate all of your support. And this is Attila from NZ Aerosports, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
So here we go, guys. What a wonderful interview we had with Attila. And we'll continue to have some more of these. I believe our next guest is going to be Rob from Australia, Rob Lebo. We're going to have a quite interesting conversation. And I believe that you don't want to miss that one, because some really cool things are going to come out of that conversation. So stay tuned right here on Skydive TV. My name is Sammy Vasiliev. Stay home, stay safe, and we'll see you shortly. Ciao.